The welcome. In this lesson, we will look at the execution of suggestive selling at the start of the guest dining experience, focusing on the following areas: the greeting, orientation, seating, and recommending aperitifs. So, let's start with a greeting. As you know, the greeting is the first impression on the guest. In terms of suggestive selling, you will not be selling to the guest yet. However, you can immediately build rapport with the guest and start learning about their preferences, such as what type of guest they are or what the purpose is of their visit. It's at this stage when you'll find out if they visited before, if they're staying in the hotel, how many days they're in town for, and so forth. Be genuine, make eye contact with them and smile sincerely. If you can, use their names. This will truly impress them. The worst thing would be to stare at them blankly and ask, "Table for two?" This is not a greeting. Now, you can give them a quick orientation. This should not happen automatically. If the guest indicates that they've been to your restaurant before, don't offer to give them an orientation again. The guest may find this to be redundant and impersonal. If you do give the guest an orientation, try to tailor it to their interests and preferences. If the guest spots the wine cellar, take them there and tell them a bit about the range of wines that you have and which wines are popular or unique. This is already a good start to your suggestive selling execution. You can also tailor the orientation to your location and the time of day. For example, if you are at a resort and the guest is joining you for breakfast, show them the reading material available, as well as some brochures about activities they could take part in that day, and where they could have dinner that evening. You could also recommend a pre-drink in the hotel bar or lounge before they go to their table, by saying, "May I suggest a drink in our wine bar before your dinner, or would you like to go straight to the table?" Once again, it is important to read your guests. If your guests are hungry and eager to place their order, an extensive orientation may be rather painful. Next, we will look at seating. Depending on the capacity of the restaurant, give the guest the option to choose from a range of tables, and once they have chosen, present the table with an open palm, and if there is a lady present, help her with her seat first. Once the guests are seated, place their napkins, if this is done at your restaurant. During the seating process, you are also not actively selling, yet you're creating an experience for the guest, ensuring they are comfortable and ready to enjoy their meal. Lastly, let's look at recommending aperitifs. Once your guests are comfortable, you should offer them some water. Here you can offer them still or sparkling water, and also mention some of the brands available at your restaurant. When you have confirmed their water order, recommend a few aperitifs to get them started. For example, "Can I bring you an aperitif in the meantime? Our mixologist, John, makes some excellent cocktails. My favorite is the classic mojito. It's made with rum, fresh lime and mint, sugar syrup, a dash of soda, and crushed ice. It will most certainly spark your appetite." Remember to read the guest before recommending just any aperitif. This is an example of a good welcome. Can you imagine the opposite? The guests are greeted half-heartedly and with no interaction, are marched to their table, and they even struggle to keep up. Once the guests are seated, the colleague disappears and the guests are unsure about what's going on. Do you think the guests would stay very long, come back, or ever recommend the restaurant to any of their friends? Probably not. As you can see, it is very important to make your guests feel welcome and happy as soon as they arrive, as this sets the scene for the rest of their dining experience. Make their first impression a lasting one.